Well, non-starter of an idea, but what I'm curious to know and what I'm sure our viewers would also want to know is why is Pakistan talking about a larger SAARC? There can be A, no SAARC without India. B, to have a larger SAARC, you must first be part of SAARC. Pakistan is virtually not part of SAARC now, so it's laughable that they are talking about a larger SAARC. G, Parthasarathy, Maroof, Raza, Saurabh, Shukla. On the Indian side, Burzine Waghmar is member of the Center for Pakistan Studies at SOAS in London. And I'm joined from Pakistan tonight by Professor Sajjad Naseer. He is Senior Fellow of the Lahore School of Economics. He's joining us from Lahore. Professor Naseer, welcome. Colonel Shafqat, Saeed, Defense Analyst from Islamabad. And my first question is to the former, from Pakistan, Pakistan's former Minister of Law, Justice and Human Rights, Mohammad Wasi Zafar. Mr. Zafar, the SAARC summit gets called off because of Pakistan. And you pitch for a larger SAARC.
No, I think...
I don't understand the logic.
No, I think it has been called off. No, I think it has been called off because of India.
No, it's not.
India has a big problem of CPAC. The only problem is that of CPAC. And that's why India is doing all this. And this now have become clear that India is involved in terrorism, not only in Balochistan, but also in Pakistan through Afghanistan. They have 32 consulates over there. And since then, joining hand with RAW and other agencies, they are involved in terrorism in Pakistan. India is a completely terrorist country, and they are scared that if China will come in, if Iran will come in, they will go much back.
Mr. Zafar, you are a...
That is the problem with India.
Mr. Zafar, you are a very seasoned Pakistani politician. Mr. G. Parthasarathy
yes, I know, but I don't talk like prejudice, as what I was hearing from Bangladesh and from your anchors and from your persons, that how much prejudice they are.
Now,
they don't have any broad-mindedness.
Mr. Zafar.
They don't have broad thinking.
Mr. Zafar.
They don't have... The only problem is that of CPAC and nothing else.
No, it's not.
Now India has created itself in Kashmir disturbance.
No, Mr. Zafar, now you must...
No, listen to me.
Let me present the contrary view to you.
No, sorry, listen to me first.
Mr. Zafar, don't get worked up. Let me give you a contrary perspective.
No,
the fact is that you are saying... Mr. Zafar, listen.
You don't interrupt me.
Mr. Zafar, I always interrupt.
Please don't interrupt me.
Mr. Zafar, I must interrupt you. I must. Mr. Zafar,
don't be that fast. No, you don't interrupt me.
Mr. Zafar, I will interrupt you. Mr. Zafar, I will interrupt you with a counterpoint.
Don't interrupt me.
Mr. Zafar, don't get worked up.
Then I will also not let you speak.
No, Mr. Zafar.
I will not let you speak.
But Mr. Zafar, I must request you not to get worked up. Listen to me.
No. You first listen to me. You first listen to my answer. Why you are scared of listening my answer?
Mr. Zafar, why are you scared of my question?
You first let me speak fully.
Why are you scared of my counter?
No, I will answer. I'm answering.
No, why are you scared of my counter, Mr. Zafar?
I am answering your question.
No, I have a counter to you, Mr. Zafar. I can't let you
dictate me.
Mr. Zafar, I must counter you.
Body to dictate me.
Mr. Zafar, I'm not dictating you, but I must give you a counter.
Me.
Mr. Zafar is a counter. The counter is this, that the SAARC summit got called off because all SAARC countries said Islamabad is not acting on terrorism. Now you are living in a parallel universe.
I am talking of SAARC.
I am talking about SAARC as well.
That was CPAC.
No, I am talking of SAARC.
I am talking about SAARC.
I am talking about SAARC as well.
Yes.
I am talking about SAARC as well.
I am also talking about SAARC.
Yeah, I am asking you that
I am giving you the reasons.
No, SAARC was... Sir, SAARC was called off.
That is my right.
SAARC was called off. It is your right.
You can't restrict me. You can't interrupt me.
Sir, Mr. Mohammad Wasi Zafar.
Then let me finish.
Mr. Zafar, listen. In an Indian news channel, Mr. Zafar, we are a democracy. Mr. Zafar, no to you, sir. We are an Indian democracy. I will ask you questions Indian style, no?
So when we are Pakistani democracy.
Fine.
We are Pakistani democracy.
But you're an Indian channel. I'm an Indian journalist. I'm going to ask you questions like an Indian journalist.
You cannot put words in my mouth.
Yeah, but you're not my master, Mr. Zafar. Mr. Zafar, listen to me. Mr. Zafar, listen to me. Fact of the matter.
You are also not.
Mr. Zafar, Mr. Zafar, please, we are wasting time. Now the fact is, Mr. Zafar, to pitch a larger SAARC, and I'd like to get Partha back in on the screen, please. To pitch a larger SAARC, and G. Parthasarathy is one of our most distinguished diplomats, and Mr. Zafar, Mr. G. Parthasarathy wants to respond to you.
That is the largest
Let him respond to you.
It is equal part, it is not largest
So you
part.
can't have China in SAARC. You cannot have China and Iran in SAARC, period.
Equal part. Every country is equal.
Okay. G. Partha responds. Partha to Mohammed.
Mr. Zafar, as someone who has lived for 5.5 years in your country and enjoyed your hospitality, let me correct that thing. Nobody is saying that you said this.
Yes,
this larger SAARC was put forward by a Pakistani who talks too much.
It must be on reciprocal.
Too much. No, listen to me. Now,
it must be on reciprocal.
Yes. No. I'm not talking. It is the channel. I have nothing to do with the channel. I'm a private citizen.
I know it is the channel.
That's between you and the channel. So you and I have no argument. Now, but so the point is this: that statement was not made by you. It was made, unfortunately, by a person who understands very little of regional economics.
You are not ready.
It was made by Mushahid Hussain Saeed.
And that is the
It was made by Mushahid. Look,
you are scared of.
I'm not. I'm speaking because. No, I will listen to you. Now, please say. Nobody is saying you said this.
Yes.
This was said by Mushahid Hussain Saeed, who knows very little of regional economics. He's a politician who changes political parties every 3 years.
Yes.
No. Let me complete.
I was coming.
You've got your chance. The basic fact of the matter is that SAARC has presently composed, it has turned out to be a useless organization.
Yes.
So Bangladesh and Afghanistan and later on Sri Lanka and Nepal said that let's not have this summit in Islamabad. No, it was Bangladesh. It was Bangladesh, Afghanistan and India. It was Bangladesh, India and Afghanistan.
They are your dependents.
How can I be mistaken about my own country?
How are they dependents?
Whatever they are 3 members. They may be our dependents. Look, I am just saying, please go your way. We'll go our way. We don't need you. You don't need me.
Who are you?
You are a member of ECO. Go with the ECO. No, leave us to go with SAARC.
They say that we got independence for.
No, we are not.
So
we'll go with SAARC.
So you, Mr. Zafar.
No, I am not saying that.
Mr. Zafar.
Am I saying that?
No.
I am talking only economics.
Partha, a few unfortunate comments are being made as part of this discussion. We must refer to sovereign nations with a little bit more respect. And Professor Sajjad, Naseer, I hope you keep that decorum. Professor Naseer, to pitch, let's be very logical about it, and Maroof, and at any point of time, if Burzine wants to come into the debate,
you're talking of economics,
and Saurabh wants to come in. No, watch it. The point is this. Professor Sajjad, Naseer.
Yeah, correct.
Question is, to pitch a concept of a larger SAARC, you need to have the support of SAARC. So unless one is living in a fool's paradise, a little slice of reality will tell you that to pitch anything vis-a-vis a regional association of nations, you would have to have the support of the region. If you look at a snapshot, Bangladesh hates Pakistan. It sees you as a sponsor of terrorism. Afghanistan abhors Pakistan. It sees you as a country which finances and plots merciless attacks. Sri Lanka follows India, says there is no summit if India does not attend. Bhutan says you are a threat because you are a supporter of terrorism. Maldives says you are a supporter of terrorism. Nepal says you are a supporter of terrorism. The point is, you have absolutely, Professor Naseer, nobody on board to support you on SAARC. Why are you building castles in the air about getting Iran in, China in?
Well,
Professor Naseer.
Well, I think you are too self-indulgent, and the way you have put forth your point of view, I think is very exaggerated and from a very narrow tunnel point of view. Now, Pakistan is nobody, Pakistan is somebody. Pakistan exists here in this region as an armed state, nuclear state. So you have to reckon that before you talk about
what do nuclear weapons have to do with this?
And Pakistan, well, it has a lot to do with this when it comes to geopolitics. Now, so far as SAARC is concerned, it amuses me that your behavior is like a child, that you are trying to isolate Pakistan by not attending the SAARC conference in Islamabad.
No, we are not. Nobody wants to go there.
Carry it forward. Just a minute, just a minute. SAARC is a dead horse that we have been whipping since 1984, and there is no mechanism as such.
Then why do you want to expand it?
SAARC to take off. Now that's what I want to tell you. That SAARC.
No, why are you flogging a dead horse? If it is a dead horse,
it is not.
By the why are you flogging a dead horse, sir?
Not delivering. And why India is so keen to retain this dead horse?
But what?
Not delivered in the last 3 decades.
Just one.
I would like to understand that.
I want to ask you
and
here.
Why Pakistan? Why? And the second thing is what India is trying to do without understanding that India is not living. That we are not living in a Cold War era. The economic blocks, if the other gentleman who probably talks some sense would agree with me, that the economic blocks were the creation during the Cold War period, and the Cold War is over. And unfortunately, India is persisting with the Cold War environment in this region, where arms race continues, where nuclear race continues, where missile race continues.
I want to give you.
You think no, but so imagine now we are living in a globalized world.
Sir,
we are living in a globalized world.
Sir,
and the globalization forces
Professor Naseer, Professor
do not
Naseer,
support economic blocks.
Professor, listen to me. Listen to me.
Arnab.
Please understand, and Maroof will respond to you, but I will only intervene with a small point to you. Please understand, Professor. You are an eminent professor. You are a senior fellow at the Lahore School of Economics. You have a fantastic background. I am aware of that. Therefore, I will put this to you.
You don't have to pitch that.
To pitch anything.
No, please don't do that.
To pitch anything, you need support. Even your only friend is deserting you. Your only friend, China, is deserting you for India. They are considering NSG seat for India and have indirectly called you out on terror. America slammed the door shut on this very parliamentary delegation a few days ago. According to Pakistan media reports, Pakistani envoys went to the US about Kashmir. They were told to end cross-border talks. The same Pakistan is sitting in New York and saying we will expand SAARC. I don't know what could be more ridiculous. This is a mix of Alice in Wonderland and God knows Grimm's fairy tales. I don't know. Are you on planet Earth when you make these comments, Professor? There has to be a slight element of realism in this.
What I am trying to communicate and tell the Indian guys that you are out of time. You are not with time, and economic bloc is not a reality anymore.
Sir,
we are living in a globalizing world.
Your attempt to form some kind of a regional counter, Maroof Raza will counter you.
Entity,
No,
you need to include China, and Iran has expressed its willingness to join.
Where does Iran come in? One second. Are you telling me, Professor, you spoke about geopolitics. Tell me whether through geo or through politics, Tehran is the center of South Asia. I don't get you. I don't get this logic at all. Since when is Tehran the center of South Asia?
Afghanistan was ever part of South Asia?
No, I'm sure. Now tomorrow you want Papua New Guinea also.
Which pushed Afghanistan.
Why do you want Papua New Guinea and Fiji then tomorrow?
Geographically, it doesn't belong there.
Sure, let's get New Zealand into SAARC.
It doesn't belong there. So if you are going to do and play these kind of tricks, then
get Libya into SAARC.
Go anywhere. Unfortunately.
Get Egypt into SAARC. Ab Egypt ko bhi le aiye.
And Egypt ko kyun le aiye? These are physically contiguous territories.
Okay.
And it makes lot of sense.
Okay, then get Mongolia. If you got China, even Mongolia will have physical contiguity with China. Get Mongolia
went away just because of lack of connectivity.
Why?
Bengal
you could get Russia into SAARC.
It was physically contiguous.
Why would you not get Russia into SAARC? There is some physical contiguity between you and Russia. No. I mean, come on, Professor Naseer. These are not evolved arguments. Maroof wants to counter you. Maroof.
One time it used to be.
I'd say there is a very clear logic, sir. Professor, I have a view. Professor, I have a view. The best future for SAARC is to remove Pakistan. You are a roadblock for us now.
No. The best idea is to get India out of it and let Iran and China and these countries make a SAARC.
I know. I may very seriously making that suggestion. The hashtag tonight is SAARC without Pak. Maroof is responding to you tonight. Maroof, yes, please.
No, I mean, if your entire effort is to isolate Pakistan, I am sorry to say that you are sadly mistaken, and all these efforts are not going to make any headway.
Oh, okay, Professor Saab, we've heard your view. Now you hear the counter view. The first thing is that if you call anything a South Asian bloc, you will have to include India in it. Quite clearly, this initiative, which Mr. Mushahid Hussain has expounded, has come after a collective decision of South Asian countries not to attend the summit in November in Pakistan. Fine, you want to go ahead with it, you'll have to first to start with find a new name for it. Because the one central, sir, listen to me. Sir, please, sir, I did not, Professor Saab, I didn't interrupt when you were speaking. Just let me make 2-3 points and you counter them. The first thing is that South Asia's reality is, and this is a geographical reality, just as
my perspective on it. And I was not represented my perspective,
Professor. Now, so you want, okay, Professor, you make your point, then I'll make counterpoints. Ab boliye, kya bolna chahte hain? Boliye. Kya bolna chahte hain? Boliye.
All I'm trying to suggest is that SAARC was a dead entity. It was never functional. It never made any headway. The question is what has happened recently, that India tried to use coercive diplomacy
to
get the SAARC conference postponed.
No.
Just a minute.
India has not.
Don't speak. Let me finish.
India has not.
Okay, your point taken. Can I give a counterpoint? Professor, Professor, can I give a counterpoint? Can I give a counterpoint? If SAARC, if Professor, okay, Professor, your point taken. Now hear the counterpoint. If SAARC was such a dead horse, why did your Home Minister some months ago host a SAARC ministers meeting? Why were you so hell-bent on hosting the SAARC meeting with your Prime Minister, hoping to wear the crown of the SAARC leadership for a year or two
Shafqat,
till the next summit? If it was such a dead horse, why were you flogging it? Forget about others. Why were you flogging it? Firstly. Secondly, I want to ask you something. For any regional cooperation initiative, you have to, sir, please hear, or any reasonable cooperation initiative, you have to have the other regional countries on board. Can you tell me hand on heart that you will have Afghanistan on board with you after what the Afghanistan president has said about Can you tell me hand on heart that Central Asia will support you? Nobody in Central Asia has time for you. And Iran's president rebuffed you on a visit to Islamabad. He even told your army chief to take a walk. No, don't bring up, sir, don't bring up 71. Don't bring up 71, don't bring up Kashmir, don't bring up partition. उसमें मैं आपकी पोल खोल सकता हूँ प्रोफेसर साहब मेरे साथ आप partition 71 और कश्मीर के बारे में बहस मत करिए. I want to ask you, which country in this nexus that you are trying to create sincerely actually finds you as a friend? Iran has a deal with us to build the Chawar port. Afghanistan has denounced you. Central Asia doesn't want you around. Only you are doing China's bidding. Aren't you ashamed? Aren't you ashamed, Professor, that you have become China's other lackey after North Korea?
By the United States.
You have become China's other lackey.
Of the United
थोड़ा तो शर्म कीजिए. कभी यहाँ बिकते हैं, कभी वहाँ बिकते हैं.
Now mind your language.
अमेरिका के पास झोली लेके खड़े थे, अभी चाइना के पास झोली लेके खड़े. थोड़ा तो अपने अंदर फख्र कीजिए.
You are the proxy of the United States.
Why are you such shameless people? And then you go around telling everywhere
that you are not only shameless, but you are spineless also. The way you are behaving in international
What are you talking about?
You are a poor country and you are trying to behave like a hegemon.
Like this on streets.
Look at the 70% of the population in India living below the poverty line, and you have aspirations to be a regional power.
Professor Naseer, I want to tell you a few harsh truths. Shafqat said,
Mahbubur Rahman's figures. Don't give me those human development index figures. The reality is, we are the 7th largest economy
I welcome into the debate Captain A.B. Tajul Islam, live from Dhaka on the Newshour this evening. Maroof. Captain A.B. Tajul Islam, joining us live from Dhaka. He is chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee of the Ministry of Liberation War Affairs, from a country that has been liberated from Pakistan, thankfully, in 1971. Captain Islam, thank you very much. Can you hear me, sir, in Dhaka? Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I do hear you.
Now tell me.
I do hear you clearly.
Tell me, Captain Islam, it's great to have you on the program. Tell me, what is Pakistan attempting to do by saying we want to get China into SAARC now, we want to get Iran into SAARC now, and they are saying that the present SAARC has no sanctity, the present SAARC has no meaning, we want to get Iran into SAARC. What is behind this strategy in your view, Captain Islam? If it is a strategy at all.
You see, the Pakistan, if you talk about Iran, it's not South Asian country, it's this Central Asian country. And if you talk about China, it is East Asian country. So the SAARC charter does not allow these two countries to become member. Though Pakistan is trying, I don't think in other organizations, the majority of the members, if they agree, it is done. But in SAARC, it is believed to be, if any country does not agree, it is not done. So first the SAARC has to sit for the summit, and then the member countries should discuss whether they can or not. But arbitrarily or Pakistan alone cannot decide that China and the Iran should be member countries of this SAARC. It is not done. And Pakistan, maybe they have an ulterior motive that since it is not working, they want to, they don't want to shoulder the responsibility. Because of their activities, SAARC is not in functioning stage. So that's why they want to put the responsibility on some other shoulder by putting this, China and Iraq, they want to include, and people will not accept it, then they will say that because of these countries we cannot be functional. But Pakistan, first they should try to hold the summit in their country. They fail to do that because of their activities, because Pakistan is the harboring ground of terrorism. They do export terrorism to Pakistan, to India and to Bangladesh. And when we have tried our war criminals, they have also shown their reaction in the parliament. It means that in our internal affairs they do butt in, so which is not acceptable. So due to their behavior, due to their the unbecoming of the member countries do not accept to go to Pakistan to share the conference.
Very senior man from Dhaka tonight. So because Captain Islam
divert the attention to other sector by asking China and the Iran to become member of this SAARC. But Iran is the Central Asia and China is the East Asian country. And more so, the member country should agree that we want to take them as an observer or anything like that. But only Pakistan cannot just do it.
You understand that?
We want
China and
Iran to become the member of SAARC.
It has to be Mohammed Zafar, one second. We have with us, so it's a very interesting discussion tonight on the Newshour. And on the left-hand side of the screen, Captain A.B. Tajul Islam is chairman of the Parliamentary Standing Committee for the Ministry of Liberation War Affairs. He's joining us from Dhaka. And on the right-hand side of the screen tonight is Wasi Zafar. He's a very senior politician from Pakistan, former Minister of Law of Pakistan. Mr. Zafar, I just want you to coolly and calmly think about what the distinguished gentleman from Dhaka has said.
If you will remain cool, I will remain cool.
No, I am cool, sir, but you should remain cool as well. Because the fact is, Mr. Zafar,
please don't interrupt me then.
Mr. Zafar, now listen to me, Mr. Zafar. You said these are not India's dependent countries. Bangladesh is a sovereign country. And you cannot call Bangladesh India's dependent country. You can't humiliate the people of Bangladesh by saying that. A sovereign country.
No, because
they are saying that you are supporting terrorism. They are all standing up against you now.
No,
Mr. Zafar, all countries in the region have stood up against you.
Government.
Yes. You can't respond by saying we'll dump SAARC and get Iran in. SAARC, you don't own SAARC.
No, this is my personal view and I stick to it. This is my personal view. This is not my government's view because I am not in government and I stick to it.
Bangladesh fought a bloody war with Pakistan and they have surrendered to us. In 16 December 1971, the Pakistan's 94,000 soldiers, they surrendered to Bangladesh joint forces.
Well said.
This is your caliber that you have come to abuse this?
Bangladesh got its liberation, is a sovereign country.
What you are talking? I don't know what you are talking.
No, he's saying that you can't call
a few days back, India admitted that we got independence for Bangladesh. What else remain?
No,
It is very clear now. Everything is clear, crystal clear.
What do you mean by that? You 94,000 soldiers surrendered to us.
Indian army came in over there. Indian army,
the fact that you were humiliated.
Everybody
now
knows.
you are trying to give a new
Pakistan wanted to have Chinese support, which
this is my personal view.
They wanted to have American support, they didn't.
No one can restrict my personal view. This is my personal view.
Oh, no, it's not your personal. You see, Bangladesh is an independent country, and you
like
should
it
not
or
forget
not
that.
like it,
And
but
you
this
have
is my personal view.
You have the diplomatic relation with Bangladesh. You have an ambassador
this is my
here.
personal view and
you have an ambassador here. If Bangladesh is not an independent country, then why you have put your ambassador here?
Whatever I have said, I stick to it.
Sir, that's why you have become a failed state because of this attitude.
And anything you can say.
Pakistan is a failed state. That's why
if no one has discussion, then they talk.
Tajul Islam, you are so proudly pretending to be an independent state. Then why did you get into power through Indian money?
You will be isolated further.
It's got nothing.
Yes,
please.
You came into power through Indian money. Look up and speak.
Please do not. Please do not. No. Shafqat Saeed. Please do not throw personal insults at my distinguished guests from Dhaka tonight. No, sir. No, sir.
Country.
Sir, please do not. You have no business. You have no business. You have no business. You have no business trying to insult the distinguished panelists from Dhaka tonight. Professor Shafqat Saeed.
What distinguished panel?
Professor Shafqat Saeed,
everybody is distinguished.
Captain Islam,
it's not only the one who is singing your
Captain Islam, please, you are, Shafqat Saeed, listen.
Why is referring to China as East Asian country?
Shafqat Saeed.
It is part of East Asia, it is part of Central Asia.
No,
and it is also part of South
Bangladesh.
Asia.
No, Bangladesh as an independent. Look, Bangladesh as an independent. Look, Bangladesh as an independent country. They are having very good relation with Japan, with China, with America, with India, with Russia. So because of your wrong diplomacy, you are now isolated from the rest of the world. Bangladesh now under the leadership of our Prime Minister, we have a very
following the tail, holding the tail of India, you are in the world. You are not.
Advanced political relationship with China, with Russia, with America, with India, with Japan, and you failed to do that. Because of your political
What is Bangladesh? It is more of a colony of India.
I'm sorry, Shafqat Saeed, you must take back your words. Shafqat Saeed, Bangladesh and the people of Bangladesh are a sovereign nation of a country of great pride, and you must know that you are desperate today. You are desperate today because Bangladesh has taken an absolutely scathing stand against you by supporting India on the surgical strikes. Bangladesh is supporting India in the fight against terrorism emanating from Pakistan. But specifically, you are even interfering in the trials in Bangladesh of the collaborators of the 1971 genocide. They want to abandon you, and you are running to China for help. You have You must stop.
Tendency would come to
This is the reason. This is the reason.
They were running to China for support. They went to
No. Burzine Waghmar is saying something. Burzine is on the debate. Burzine from London tonight. Burzine is making a point. Please, Burzine is saying something. Burzine,
they have surrendered to us.
Burzine from SOAS. Burzine, please go ahead.
First things first.
SAARC would extend.
Burzine Waghmar, please.
China and Iran are already observer status members of SAARC. So why are we going to town about this? Second point, as regards RAW raw consulates being run in Iran by India, apparently, the Zahedan consulate came to India from British India days. So the Pakistanis don't know what they're talking about. And Senator Saeed mentioned about a greater South Asia emerging, quote unquote, in New York at the Stimson Center some days back. Well, I ask you this. After 70 years of partition, because next year's the 70th anniversary, is Pakistan prepared to come into South Asia? Because for 70 years and 7 decades, your textbooks, SSC textbooks across the provinces and the federal board, FBISC textbooks, always keep mentioning Hum Central Asian hai. So now you're coming back to the subcontinent.
Well said, Burzine.
1 minute you say you are the Middle East, next minute you say you're with Muhammad ibn Qasim's Arabian settlers. You need
we
to
are
make a
part
stand
of, yes.
you are, because
you are wrong. You need to improve your geography. You need to improve your geography. We are at the crossroads of Central Asia, Middle East and Central Asia and South Asia.
I don't.
You need to improve your outlook. You are tunnel. You have tunnel view. You have you are narrow-minded. You are talking venom. You are trying to mislead
That's
people.
why it works you out.
Don't think that by your lucidity you can turn the truth. The fact is, Pakistan is equally a Central Asian, Middle Eastern and South Asian country.
Look it up on the internet.
And your height and your cannot change it.
Fight a war.
So I think Burzine,
Islam would come and say China is not South Asian.
Burzine, Shafqat
10th standard and 12th standard papers, which are online on the FBIC Islamabad website.
Teach him the geography
I didn't make
first.
your curriculum.
Then let him come and
Shafqat.
We have no curriculum that you are talking about.
First of all,
obviously it worked you up because I touched on that.
I'd like Saurabh also to come in. Burzine, 1 second. Saurabh Shukla is editor-in-chief of News Mobile.
No.
Saurabh.
Pakistan is bad news for Tashkent, Beijing and Tehran. All three who have complained about terrorists having a beachhead in Pakistan at ISI training camps and the export of troublemakers to their countries, to Iran's Sistan, Baluchistan,
Saurabh and Professor Naseer,
and to the Fergana Valley in Uzbekistan.
You cannot have a regional.
So
nobody can have a regional grouping by themselves. They can best have a kitty party of terrorists. That's what they can have.
Now, what are you, Professor Naseer? As in, what is Pakistan? Are you Central Asian? Are you Arab? Are you East Asian? Are you ex-Indian? What are you? Because
you are raising question about Pakistan's identity.
Yes, I am.
What is Pakistan's
what are you?
identity? Is it Arabian?
Yeah, what are you?
It is Central.
No, it's
Asian.
a genuine question.
No, that is not the question.
And what makes you feel that
if this is the standard of Indian television,
sir,
I am very sorry to say
it's very direct.
This is not the kind of a program that any
talk about itself.
serious-minded academic
Professor Naseer.
I'm sorry,
Professor Naseer,
the fact that I came to this program.
Yeah, that's all right,
I
Professor.
don't think this is the way to
Professor
do a program.
Naseer,
I think
please tell me why do you
demonstrating your venom and you had a patronizing attitude towards the Bengali guy, and you are trying. What is
Mr. Naseer, you a country that has carried out, Mr. Naseer, you are a country which has carried out the greatest genocide in world history in Bangladesh. You have the temerity to talk about what you did in Bangladesh. You should not even look upon what has been said in Bangladesh. I would support Captain Islam saying and objecting to the fact that you have dared to call Bangladesh a dependent nation.
You cannot allow your
You must be absolutely sure of your factual inaccuracy, sir, and you will be torn apart for it. Maroof is responding to you. Maroof to Professor Naseer.
I'm sure
Maroof to Professor Naseer. Maroof to Professor Naseer.
Then you will keep on making the mistakes.
Professor Naseer, 1 second.
But I'm sorry, I cannot participate in this program anymore.
Sir,
this is more like a shouting bout. And
you have no answers tonight, Professor.
We got your point, sir.
The Indian television.
We got your point.
Professor Naseer, you have no answers tonight.
In this program
Professor Naseer is running away because he has no answers tonight. You are free to run away, sir. You are free to run away, sir. You are free to run away, sir. The questions won't end.
But
anyway, Maroof, Professor Naseer has running away from the program tonight. That is his legitimate right. I go back to the core question. I go back to the core question. Sir, you have run away from the program and that's all right. You have a right to run away, sir. I would also request you. I would request you to, if you can answer a few questions, otherwise it's not my problem. Iran and India have signed a historic agreement on the Chabahar fort, a counter to your own CPEC, and China that includes Gwadar. The agreement with Iran is strategic as well as economic, and you are therefore desperate to join Iran into your parallel arrangement which will never work. That is something you need to realize. Maroof, why so much nervousness? The core issue therefore is, why this level of nervousness among the Pakistanis about SAARC? Maroof.
Arnab, 3 points. The first is that Pakistan has historically had a rather inflated sense of its position and its worth in the region. And this is something that has been prompted and supported by countries like America in the past, which made them feel that they were indispensable to American designs in the region. Maroof. The second thing,
Maroof,
sir, I know my geography. Kan sahab, थोड़ी मेरे को 1 मिनट दीजिए. I know my geography. Geography में मैं आपकी शहर का, आप मेरे से किसी भी शहर का ना, अरे कर्नल साहब, will you shut up? कर्नल साहब चुप बैठिए. फालतू बकवास मत करिए. Let somebody else speak. I know you are prompted by the bloody ISI to interfere and not let Indians speak.
Prompted.
You are absolutely clueless. You are sitting as a puppet of the ISI.
You cannot.
अगर पते की बात बोलनी है तो बोलिए. नहीं तो बकवास मत करिए.
Connecting Central Asia.
What geography? You have an inflated sense of your worth. Today nobody gives a damn about you.
We have not.
You are China's lackey. China's paying you to do your play its game.
No.
आप पहले अमेरिका के खेल खेलते थे, अभी चाइना के खेल खेलते हैं, कल किसी और का खेलेंगे. आपका देश हिस्टोरिकली बिकाऊ रहा है. शर्म कीजिए अपने आप पे.
खिचड़ी बनी हुई है आप लोगों की
और हमारे को बता रहे और हमें भाषण दे रहे. You're trying to tell us. Look where you are.
तो जाते हैं सुबह के वक्त बाहर. That is shame on your economy. आपकी कास्ट सिस्टम shame है.
Who gives a damn about you? Iran, Afghanistan, Central Asia. किसी के पास आपके लिए टाइम नहीं है. क्या बकवास कर रहे हैं आप? You are completely lost, clueless and isolated. You are in a pathetic state, Colonel Saab. Look up and
Shafqat, Saeed and Maroof. Shafqat, Saeed and Maroof. I want to go on facts tonight and Partha, if I can come back to you. You see, let's take a broader perspective of what has happened now. No, 1 second, we are continuing. I want to take a broader perspective of what's happening. And if I may, I want to go to Partha and Burzine back in peace, right? I'd say tonight, Burzine. One second. Partha.
Shafqat Saeed. Beijing finds Pakistan bad news and privately tells it so, but not publicly. So does Tashkent. And it's Fergana Valley militants who are subvented and trained by ISI at its camps up and down Pakistan. Likewise with Tehran, which has problems with Pakistani terrorists in Jundala, Balochistan province. And these are supposed to be Pakistan's allies. They have privately told Beijing, Islamabad to back off because they don't want troublemakers to be exported from ISI-trained camps trained in the arts of mayhem and murder and to be sent to its own respective countries. And these are supposed to be so-called Islamabad's allies.
समझते हैं कि आप लोगों को pulled up Islamabad बात कर रहे हैं आप. There are no terrorists in Pakistan. What about it?
Beijing and Islamabad.
Nobody is going to believe you.
Creating terrorism.
And Tehran is fed up of Pakistan. Tehran is fed up of Pakistan.
There are no terrorists in Pakistan.
When the Mazar-e-Sharif consulate was sacked and burnt,
that is
and
failed.
11 Iranian diplomats
Everybody is realizing that. And soon Afghanistan is going to realize that who is benefiting from instability in Afghanistan? That is only India.
Okay. Pakistan. You answered it.
Afghanistan की instability suit नहीं करती. अमेरिका को नहीं करती, चाइना को नहीं करती, ईरान को
instability. आपने अफगानिस्तान को क्या दिया है? आपने Arnab, ask them what they've given to Afghanistan other than terrorists. We've given a parliament. We've given a dam, we've given highways, we've given schools, we've given medical care, and what the hell have you given? You've given them the bloody Taliban. What are you talking?
What do you know? You mean people?
You're a bunch of racketeers, drug traffickers, and murderers.
क्यों खालिस्तान मांगते हैं? मणिपुर में औरतें नंगा जुलूस क्यों निकालती हैं?
Shafqat Saeed, okay, cut off there, please. Shafqat Saeed,
अरे कर्नल साहब, आप ISI क्या क्यों propaganda यहाँ बोल रहे हैं?
I want Captain Tajul Islam, please, from Dhaka. Captain Islam from Dhaka, please, calm down. Captain Islam on the left, please. Captain Islam. One sec, Captain Islam. Captain Islam. First of all, Burzine.
I was hearing your discussion.
Burzine.
If it is the level of the educated people of Pakistan, what is the level of the common people? You see, Iran. Well, if Iran and
Iran you have to ask after 70 years of the house that Jinnah built.
No, what's it? Burzine, wait. Can I have Captain complete his point?
For the economic benefit and for globalization, then definitely SAARC can include those countries as a member. But it is not the decision of one country. It is the decision of the SAARC members countries. One single member does not agree with the decision, then nobody can take decision because in other international organizations,
Mr. Zafar,
it is understood that majority of the member decide, then it is accepted.
That's right.
But in SAARC cases, any single member does not agree with the proposal, it is not accepted. So if we want to take the Central Asian country, the Iran, and the East Asian country, China, even for that matter, Japan or Australia, while we can do it for the greater interest of the SAARC, but it has to be decided in the SAARC forum. It is not decided by single country. That has to be accepted.
If Iran comes in, what will be the problem?
They are not South Asian countries.
This narrow
there is no problem, but this is not the decision of a one country. It has to be decided by the SAARC summit member countries.
Thinking. Only problem is of narrow-minded thinking.
For the economic benefit, you see, SAARC was established for friendship, trust, and cooperation. You see. And these countries definitely SAARC members agree, all members agree that we can take Japan, Australia, even Iran and China, no problem. But that has to be decided in the SAARC summit. That cannot be decided in the drawing room of a particular country. You cannot do like that.
Then you please tell me what is about Afghanistan.
Afghanistan was initially was not member. Afghanistan became member. Even Myanmar has become member. We can definitely take other countries as a member, but that has to be decided
except China. Nobody except China will support
this is not the way to this is not the way to discuss this. You see, first you have the
Maroof. Nobody is going to support this initiative,
and then I can lay my reputation that we want to make.
Neither nor Iran, nor Central Asia, nor even Russia.
Maroof, can I get Partha to give the last word? Partha, my last question is to Partha.
Why do you want to increase the member?
My last question is to Partha. Partha.
What is the the tricks behind it?
Partha.
Existing member, you cannot be successful.
May I request my Pakistani friends? I'm not. The subject is SAARC.
Yes.
Subject is SAARC.
Discuss this thing.
The subject is SAARC.
If all the member countries agree,
let us discuss.
Can be done.
Yes.
Let us discuss what SAARC is today.
Yeah.
Let us discuss what SAARC is today.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is SAARC has achieved nothing, and that is why we have disengaged from SAARC and have an eastern quadrangle comprising Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka. Then, most important, SAARC is so marginal that we have not invited it to the Goa BRICS summit. We have invited the members of BIMSTEC, who are all our neighbors, But they are all our eastern neighbors, plus Sri Lanka. They're all invited to go to the Goa summit. So we are going to now go ahead, not with SAARC, but with BIMSTEC and with our eastern neighbors. If Pakistan wants to join in, fine. If Pakistan does not want to join in, you can go and jump in a well. But we are going to go ahead with regional economic integration. Finally about Iran. That's up to you. Finally, the final point. We are going to develop an Afghanistan, Iran, India triangle. No, I am talking of the regional groupings.
Make it.
There are going to be sub-regional groupings of which Pakistan will not be a part.
That's true.
I told you there are already two major ones. Of which you are not a part. And they are progressing much faster.
The force is
than SAARC. No, let me complete. I have
They're going
listen,
back.
You're a bad man at Pakistani.
Listen to me.
You listen to me. I have not spoken. I have not spoken.
They now want
you first listen to me. I will not yield to you.
And
I have yielded to you for 1 hour. I refuse to yield to you. I refuse to yield. I will not let you speak.
If you want to talk alone, you keep on talking.
I never spoke.
I am listening.
I never spoke. I never spoke. I'm speaking on. I am merely saying there are a number of sub-regional groupings to our east and west where economic integration is proceeding much faster than SAARC. If SAARC does not, with Pakistan, does not proceed as fast as the others, we will just dump SAARC.
Growing of Pakistan is the
and you can take, you are a member.
You think Partha, it will grow.
You are a member of ECO.
Partha,
please look westwards.
Partha, I see.
We don't need you.
No, Partha.
We don't need you.
If you see,
please go whatever way you want.
Exactly.
You are a nuisance.
Yeah.
You are a nuisance in SAARC.
Yeah,
you have only nuisance value.
I say tonight, Partha, look at it
logically.
Go the
way you want. You go the way you want.
No, Partha, look at it logically. Pakistan has no contribution to SAARC except terrorism and interference. And I say tonight that Captain Islam.
Arun, one last point.
Yes, Partha.
One last,
quickly.
One last point.
Yeah.
India has foreign exchange. Just a minute. India has foreign exchange reserves of $370 billion. Pakistan's foreign exchange reserves are $20 billion. Our world trade, including services, is $900 billion. Theirs is some $60 or $70 billion. Why should we join with these third-rate people who have no role in the world economically? Dump them. And go ahead with the rest of it.
I agree. Dump Pakistan. Dump Pakistan. Move on. Let's have a SAARC without Pak. And to everyone tonight, especially to our very well-spoken Captain A.B. Tajul Islam joining us from Dhaka, and everyone else, I thank you for joining me on debate number 2 on the Newshour tonight on SAARC without Pak.
You will not